What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another week of the Paranoia podcast. Sorry for our short little hiatus, but we are back and we are ready to cover all of the drama from these 2 weeks. I'm Kailey Albus. I am on Wasted Potential.
I'm Will Elliott. I'm on Constantine.
I'm Rory Summerville, and I'm on Trigger Fingers.
So we had a pretty eventful week 1 leading into a pretty eventful week 2, if you do.
I would say people came out swinging in week 1.
Yes.
And that week narrowed down the field from 28 teams to 14. And this week narrowed down the field from 14 teams to an odd 7, meaning that there is one team that's secured a bye week. We'll get into that later. Let's talk about who we thought were the strongest teams of the past 2 weeks. There were some serious outstanding teams, some teams that underperformed, but I would say, just like we predicted in the first round, our first podcast, my pick would be Goof. Goof came out even stronger than I thought they would be, and they went all out. I have never seen or heard about a slaughter like that. Within the first 3 days or so, their entire team, opponent's team, was wiped out. They had a headquarters at the center of town in Lake Forest, and they had a caravan of black pickup trucks and an arsenal of weapons like nobody's seen. We'll get to some footage of their slaughter later on in the episode. So I think Goof was the strongest team for me.
Pretty impressive team, I'm not gonna lie. But I was watching the Regulators. They proved themselves to be a team to watch, I think, early on. We all saw on the Instagram, Kerrigan posted a video immediately of someone on the opposing team. I think it was Jack Sands. Trying to think. I don't remember, but this kid was up in a tree, okay? And they're shooting him from the car.
I think it was Jack Freedy.
Really? Okay. They're shooting him from the car, and they're just like, they're hoping to get a shot, and then eventually they do. And the strategy when it comes to a tree is really smart, especially on Freedy's part. When you're standing up, well, okay, look. When
what
you're
lateral movement is he?
When you think about the way that you're protected by this shield of branches.
But you're not. He was like stuck in a tree.
Closed in a tree.
He can't leave.
I don't know. The way that it looked is that he had like this shield of just tiny branches.
It's target practice, Kailey.
Well, I don't know what to call it that. I do, but I'm trying to say is that the Regulators kind of killed it with that one. Because honestly, that's kind of a luck of the draw event right there. And I was really impressed by the sharpshooting on that team. The gusto of those guys on that team, they were pumped. And they, I think, used that to propel them through both week 1 and week 2.
Both those teams are really strong guy teams. But one team that super surprised me was Sniper No Sniping, which is an all-girls team. I did not pick them to win first round, but I did say that they were prepping. They were ready, and it was a rocky first week. They were going back and forth. They ended up winning in a duel. It's a very controversial week, but this week they massacred. I'm pretty sure they played Team Zaza. Not positive, but I think they did. And they massacred them. It was crazy. So now they get a bye week. Because they scored the most points out of any of the other teams. So I don't know. I'm very excited to watch to see what they'll do because now they're going to the Final Four or whatever. So
I would be scared. Whoever team is playing them in the Final Four, I would be terrified because
I would be worried.
These girls, once they get rest, they're gonna get back on it and they're gonna do it hot. This is not gonna be like a lackadaisical week for them.
I think it'll be easy to underestimate.
Yes.
Once they give them a week, they're gonna be in the planning room this whole week. They'll be putting some work.
Yeah.
Let's move on. How was your week, guys?
I had 2 weeks of play. The first week was very exciting, albeit disappointing. We lost in the first round to, I think, my favorite team named Trace Betches, the team of the event organizer, Kerrigan Weston. Although, it was just a fun round. It was high kill volume, a lot of good trash talk. I think the real spark of the week, though, that ignited some disagreement was the incident in the Chipotle parking lot. And I think I'll I'll invoke my Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination.
You can read about it. It's all over Facebook, guys. If you don't know the Chipotle attempted massacre, I mean, it's famous now. It's right there with the Meatheads massacre.
Right. It was literally right next to the Meatheads
massacre. It's a cursed parking lot.
And that event could have completely disqualified the other team. There was a lot of play that was against the spirit of the game. The second week we played Team Jad. We also got greased a little bit there. And
did you lose?
We did. We did lose. We lost. We lost on a technicality after declaring a truce. And you just hate to see it. And I think we'll move on.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, fun fact, I saw Will's team having a team meeting on the side of the street 5 minutes. It was like 2 minutes before the first round started. We pull up. They all freak out. Will's like darting in his car because they think we're the enemy team. And we're like, calm down. We're not going to kill you. I did witness, I drove by your massacre, attempted massacre. So it was a fun round to watch.
Could have been 4 kills. We ended up with 2 points.
Yeah. But I mean, my first week was not that eventful. I mean, we tried a bunch of different things. We were hiding out in people's houses and we were following them, and we were sitting out in the rain. I mean, we didn't get as much as we wanted to, but toward the end of the week, we ended up killing one person on video. So we won 2-0, which was good. We moved on and played the Regulators. Our group chat's freaking out because they're being followed. Turns out 4 people die on video. We're down 8-1 because they killed one person, no video. So right off the bat, first night, we're down 8-1. We're all freaking out. We're like, we're not going to win this. We waited outside Catherine Graham's house for 2 hours. We sat behind Chase Breidenbach's car, freezing. None of us had coats. It was like 40 degrees. Sat there waiting for him. He came out and we shot him. So then it was 8-3. And then 2 days ago, we had the shootout. We killed Thomas and Sam, and they killed me. So then it became 9-7. We had some momentum, but then, people were sick and couldn't leave the house and all this stuff. So we lost, but I mean, I think it was a really good comeback. There's a little controversy with our shootout the other day, but I mean, I was proud of the comeback because they definitely did not think after it was 8-1 that we were going to do anything. So
I think one of the big stories is, I think this year, more than many years, is the amount of combined man hours that were put into stakeouts.
Sure.
We could have read, the Odyssey 40 times over with the amount of hours that seniors put into staking out, sitting outside of people's houses.
There is so much downtime that it's ridiculous.
Right. There were some serious near frostbite moments. How'd your week go, Kailey?
Well, let me say it was just both weeks were pretty uneventful, not gonna lie. I think it truly came down to just the unfortunate reality that a lot of us were busy. I have a musical. I'm literally moving houses. My priority did not lie with Paranoia, unfortunately. And I love reporting on it, don't get me wrong. But, I think I probably let my team down pretty often. I was very unavailable and it was unfortunate. But from the other teams, we didn't see very much action either. Oh, the first week we were ready. Caroline Walsh, I don't know how much you know, but we did walk into your house with your brother's permission, without your parents' permission. And then we abided by the rules. We left. It was okay. We did not get the kill, but that was our first night and we were pumped. From then on, we had the challenge of facing a team of 11 as a team of 7. So we had the incredible experience of teaming up with Andrew Fontana and Austin Kennedy, who we found on the side of the road outside of Blythe Karras' house. Blythe, Andrew needs a prom date. And I think it's kind of rude that you wouldn't open the door for him. But yeah, from there, we kind of lost the gusto. I will call criticism to this. Their tactic first round was to come in a car of 5 people and wait outside individual houses, and then they would be like, come out, where are you at? And I'm like, okay, but the logic in that, that doesn't make any sense because if I know that
nobody's leaving.
why would I come out in the
Nobody's
first
doing
place?
Not a strategy.
That's not a strategy. That's just you're waiting
No.
outside my house and I'm taking a shower. So like I'm not gonna come outside.
In a car of 5, like you're in your house, so the 5-minute rule doesn't apply. You're in a car of 5. How is there a gunfight?
What is
there?
I don't get what the strategy is in that. I think this week, unfortunately, was really uneventful. We had no engagement with the other team whatsoever. I think honestly, we all were either busy or we're just losing a little bit of gusto. But I offered up last night. I was like, yo, we gotta do something. I don't know how we want to decide this, but I don't know if people are down for a duel at 9:00 at night on a Thursday night. And then, you know, that other team that came back, they were fiery. They were like, let's duel, let's go. So we sent 3 of our players. Unfortunately, I was unavailable. A lot of people were unavailable, which was an issue. They did a 3-on-3. Unfortunately, we lost to the wrath of Trip Pierce.
Let me run down the teams that did advance from 14 to 7. We've got Team Goof, Team Gurf, Trace Betches, Trips Angels, the Regulators, the Ratchets, and the bye team, Sniper No Sniping. So they will get to sit out this week and they will come back swinging next week. So the matchups themselves, like I said, Sniper No Sniping is not facing anybody. We've got the Ratchets versus Gurf. We've got Trace Betches versus Goof. We've got the Regulators versus Trips Angels. So let's go on to our actual picks. So in terms of Ratchets versus Gurf, I'm going to go with Gurf on this one. I think that they actually had some serious executions that went on this week.
I'm gonna go with the Ratchets. I don't know. I mean, it's not that I don't have faith in Gurf. I think, you know, I love Jan Kubata with all my heart. But I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Ratchets. I feel like they've proven themselves to be pretty ruthless. And that'll actually be something that's interesting because I don't know if the Ratchets has played an all boys team yet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
This will be tricky. I can go either way. Rory?
I think I'm gonna go with the Ratchets, but I mean it really could go either way. We'll have to watch.
Yeah, I'd have to take another look at the Gurf lineup. At this point, one of the big dynamics is fatigue. You know, what team is going to go out there and still have the energy and the patience to keep doing this?
Yeah, and I see that from Gurf, so I know where you're coming from.
The next matchup to watch, Trace Betches versus Goof. As much as I'd like to see Trace Betches pull off a really cool upset, I'm going to stick with my guns and say Goof.
You know, I think because you're sticking to your guns, it almost compels me to root for Trace Betches a little bit more. I don't know what it is. And of course, I have all faith in Goof. But, you know, something about the power of a team with like these feisty girls. And, you know, it's not like I think Kerrigan's doing this in an unfair way whatsoever. But again, Kerrigan is the mastermind. Like she's got it down packed. And I feel like
she knows how to play the game.
Yeah,
she just knows what to do, how to run her team
to victory. And I'm going to pick Trace Betches for this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you too, Kailey.
Okay. So last matchup, we've got the Regulators versus Trips Angels. And I'll let you two go first. I have no clue on this one.
I think I'm gonna go with the Regulators, honestly. You know, as much as gusto is really like important.
You love that word. Gusto is a big word.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's my word of the day, actually. Right. You know, I think maybe I'm a little bit salty, maybe I'm biased, but you know, Trips Angels did not have any gusto last week. And why did it have to come down to a duel? You know what I mean? Like why?
That's true.
Of course, it's a joint effort on both teams. Totally understand that. And I do think the Regulators are going to give them a run for their money. But why did it have to come down to that? And I feel like that, you know, if that's going to come from any sort of team, like it's not going to be the Regulators. So I'm going to go with the Regulators for my top pick.
All right.
This is a hard one because, you know, I played the Regulators. I know how strong they are, but at the same time, I do think they're beatable if someone sticks at it. I'm going to go with the Regulators, but I think Trips Angels can give them a run for their money. So we'll have to see that one.
I think we have to look for the X factors in this matchup. If Tripp and Carmel are able to rally the troops and incite a real show of force, I think they'll
bring it home.
But that has yet to be seen. So I think the safe pick would be the regulars.
Right. Shall we move on to some of the highlights from the week?
Roll it.
Okay, 3 kills. Only 3. Hey, I'll challenge you to a duel, alright? No. You want to go to a duel? You're not allowed to make deals anymore. You want to go to a duel? No more deals. Whoa! Let's go! We got him!
Hey, Shawan, which one's basement?
Oh, he's Wayne down. Get him, Owen! Relax! Go!
Let's go!
Hey, Jerry!
Right. And with that, we're signing off for our second episode of the Paranoia podcast. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Kailey.
I'm Will.
And I'm Rory, and we will see you in 2 weeks for the final matchups.